Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. So we had a little glitch that we're supposed to start 1:30 p.m. Pacific, but we made a mistake on our graphics that we're actually starting now. So hopefully Dr. Yemi Famuyiwa can join us earlier today. So happy Friday. So are you one of the million people who experience sleep problems? Did you know that poor sleep could be sabotaging your chances of having a baby? Receiving quality sleep is actually really crucial for hormone production, which is necessary for fostering a healthy pregnancy. So the link between sleep and fertility troubles is a startling reality that many aspiring parents overlook. And this is why we're so glad to chat on IG Live today with Dr. Yemi Famuyiwa. Dr. Famuyiwa is a medical doctor of Montgomery Fertility Center and a board-certified subspecialist in reproductive endocrinology and infertility. So during this live, we're going to discuss sleep and fertility, including the role of melatonin in egg quality, things that can be hindering your sleep, the connection between stress and sleep deprivation, and so much more. So I saw. Hello, hello. Hi, Dr. Famuyiwa.
Hi, how are
Good, how are
you?
you? I'm really sorry about the glitch because I know we made it really confusing. The calendar invite was 1:30 Pacific, but then the graphic actually says it like us now. So,
Oh, I see. Okay.
but thank
Oh,
you so much for taking the time.
no problem. No problem. Yeah.
Wonderful. So tell us a little bit about yourself, like how you became a board certified subspecialist in reproductive endocrinology and infertility.
Yeah. So my name's Yemi Famuyiwa. I'm the founder of Montgomery Fertility Center. And also we have Montgomery Fertility Egg Bank and now the host of Fertile Talks podcast. So I did my medical school at Emory University in Atlanta and the residency in obstetrics and gynecology at Georgetown University Hospital. Following that, I did my fellowship at the National Institutes of Health. And after my fellowship, I did a few years of research before starting my practice in Rockville. In Montgomery County, we were originally in Wheaton. Now we're in Rockville, Maryland.
Oh wow. Oh my God. That's a super loaded education background. Um
Thank you.
that's amazing. So as an endocrinologist, like how often do you find like a person's lifestyle choices are impacting their fertility?
All the time, all the time, all the time. And now infertility incidence is going up. I mean, the World Health Organization is saying it used to be 1 in 8 people. Now it's 1 in 6,
Oh wow.
right? Yeah. And in some countries, the the birth rate is below replacement in some places. Now that has other causes, but infertility is definitely rising.
Yeah, so it's actually a really pressing problem.
Yeah.
And I know the infertility journey is also really hard for people, but because they're related to lifestyle factors, if people
Yes.
can actually like change these lifestyle factors and not only can increase their fertility, but also, prevent like save money, right? Like if you go through IVF, it's like super expensive.
Yeah. So yeah, we do know that a lot of things are can affect your fertility, can affect your eggs or sperm. So I think people need to be aware of all the things that could affect your fertility.
So then we're talking about sleep, like, like
Yeah.
millions of people struggle with sleep
Yeah.
problems. Like, how does sleep actually like impact fertility?
So if people are sleep deprived, then they have lower amounts of melatonin, the sleep hormone. So when you have decreased melatonin, um, you it affects the we call it the hypothalamic pituitary axis going
Mhm.
to your ovaries. You have disruption of the hormones being produced. If you have sleep deprivation, you're going to have increase in the stress hormone that the body produces, namely cortisol.
Mhm.
When you have increased cortisol, it's like a stress hormone. it affects the production of your hormones, your, FSH, LH, that can affect the production of your eggs or sperm. So lack of sleep can cause the stress effect of it can trigger downside and affect the quality of your eggs. For instance, men who are sleep deprived or work shift work or interrupted sleep, they found they had decreased sperm motility, they had decreased sperm morphology, and an increased incidence of DNA fragmentation in the sperm, right? And if you have increased DNA fragmentation, then the sperm does not uh, fertilize the egg very well. So you have increased incidence of miscarriages, for instance, or lack of fertilization period. So it's like a trigger downward effect.
Yeah. So it's like it's such a cascade that, oftentimes people don't even think about it, but like a downstream impact is
Yes.
so much.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So it definitely, and it does affect the hormone. If you have sleep deprivation, also you can have increased prolactin, right? And prolactin, we know, if it's too high, can cause lack of ovulation, can interrupt the ovulation pattern. So there's so many um, domino effects. And we now know that lack of sleep can cause what is called the metabolic syndrome, right? It increase weight gain, interrupts your metabolic system. So it's like a domino effect down the line.
Yeah. You mentioned the melatonin. So what is melatonin and how does it impact like egg quality?
So melatonin is a hormone that's produced in a gland in the brain that is produced during dark hours, right? So um, if you have high melatonin, it acts as an antioxidant. What is an antioxidant? It reduces the oxidative stress that damages cells, damages DNA. So when you have enough sleep, you have adequate amount of melatonin, you protect your DNA against oxidative damage. Yeah. So it's like
Okay.
everything is just like a domino. Yeah, it's all a domino effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you kind of answered my next question. I was going to ask you about oxidative stress and how sleep deprivation make it worse. So basically, sleep deprivation will make you produce less melatonin, which then causes higher oxidative stress,
Exactly.
than basically causing the damage.
Exactly. And also lack of sleep increases the cortisol level. So we have a increased cortisol. Cortisol, we know, can add to, it's like a stress hormone. The higher the cortisol level, the more negative impact on ovulation and also on sperm production as well.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna ask you about like what are some healthy sleep patterns, because it's now we understand how important sleep is and then the potential domino downstream impacts. Now let's talk about the positive stuff, like how can we like
Yeah.
sleep better.
Sir, before let me segue a little bit. There was a study in 2023 where they did a study of women going through IVF. The women who had less than 6 hours of sleep had lower implantation
Oh
rates,
wow.
and they had fewer high quality embryos than those compared with those that slept for 7 to 8 hours. So, poor quality sleep, it can hinder ovarian function. How can you do it? Find a routine. The best thing is probably just to find a routine, going to bed, at a similar time all the time. So, making sure that you're sleeping in a room that's cool, um, lower the lights. You can even lower your ambient light. Start lowering your ambient light an hour or two before you go to bed, right? You can start dimming the lights a little bit, going to sleep around the same time. So you make it a habit of going to bed at the same time. Um, and make sure you're in a cool room so it's not too hot, because if you're hot and uncomfortable, then you're going to be interrupted. And then another trick too is, if you're going to, I tell my patients to drink a lot of water, right? So if you want to drink water, space the water out throughout the day. So some people wait till nighttime. Oh, I haven't had, my 6 or 7 cups or 8 cups of water, and you want to drink, 4 or 5 cups, within an hour or two of sleep. Well, then guess what? You're going to be getting up all the time. So it's better to space your water throughout the day so you're not, and you don't end up drinking so much before you go to bed and you're not waking up so much.
So we talk about some of these really important tips. Sleep around the same time every night, and then have like a pretty cool ambient air, and then don't drink a lot of water, and then dimming the light. What about screens? Because a lot of people, like before they go to bed, like they look at their screens, like why we've heard like in terms of practicing sleep hygiene, not just for fertility, but for others, like we always told that, okay, stay away from your screens before bedtime. Like, why should you do that?
Well, because a lot of screens, they emit what is called blue light. So when you're exposed to that blue light has been associated with a lower melatonin secretion. So your body doesn't realize that it's time to start powering down and going to bed. So you probably want to avoid that blue light within 1 hour of going to sleep.
Yes, makes sense. So, and also many of us, carry stress of the day with us to go to bed. So what are some tips for reducing stress so that you can get in the right mindset for healthy sleep?
Um, Yeah, stress is a big one. For those who are super, super stressed, I always recommend, maybe you want to get professional help, right? There are counselors that you can see. You can do things like yoga. Some people like acupuncture. If you're not super stressed, but you have a minor level of stress, then you can start doing, calming breaths, trying to, put yourself in a calm environment, lower sound and stimuli, and do maybe some breathing exercises. And if that doesn't work, again, this is just a generic advice, right? Then maybe you'd need to see someone. Maybe, because, fertility can be stressful. It's been likened to almost like PTSD. So maybe you need to get professional help beyond just the mundane.
Yeah, we always recommend people to get professional help and also really work with someone who
Yes,
knows what they're doing, such
exactly.
like yourself. So, in terms of your work, how do you assess someone's fertility health?
Mhm. So it's a whole comprehensive workup when they come in. So we're going to go through their entire medical history. We want to look at lifestyle factors. We want to perform certain hormonal testing within a couple of days of them starting their period. What does their uterus look like? Are their tubes open? And if they have a partner, you also want to look at the sperm. Is the sperm healthy? So it's like a very comprehensive initial evaluation. And I tell patients, if you've had surgery before, if you had prior treatments, try to get your records together because you really don't know what could prove helpful. If you were transfused, you had, major surgery, all those things may be important. So don't withhold that information. Share with us, right? So the more information we receive, the more we can help you. And I always tell my patients, I look at it as the initial part is an information gathering session, right? And after we gather all the data, then we sit down one on one and let's tailor what we found to you.
That makes a lot of sense because fertility is very personal. So having this like personalized approach is like really important.
Mhm. Yes. Yeah.
Um, Tell us about your podcast, Fertile Talks.
So
You
my
mentioned in the beginning of the
yes,
the IG, but tell us
right.
more.
So my Fertile Talks is a podcast where we cover all things fertility. It's more to provide information and also to give my patients really selfishly information and also to help um, shed more light because I found that there there may be a lot of misinformation out there, and my job is to help bring in some scientific backed data and also to have a forum where women, especially minority women, may feel welcome because in some cultures they don't know where to turn to. They're afraid to reach out for help. So you can start listening and let us empower you to take that first step. I can't tell you how many, and this has nothing to do with educational level, by the way. I can't begin to tell you how many women tell me, well, I thought about seeking help, 4 or 5 years ago, and now they're 45. Well, I thought about it 4 or 5 years ago, and then I thought about it again 2 years ago. Why were you waiting? Why are you wait? But they didn't know, and sometimes fear holds them back. So we're there to provide information, and we've been well received. We have over five. We just started a few months ago, and now we have over 500 downloads. Yes, and we have right now. I think we have about 30 episodes that we've recorded, and several more coming up that are in the pipeline.
That is amazing. I do think we need to talk more about it. At least like I when I was going through my fertility problems, I felt pretty alone. And then initially you don't want to talk, like people don't talk about it. But then once you start opening
Yeah.
up, you also realize there are many people like you, and then you can get the support
Yeah.
and then get the problems addressed.
Yeah, and you just hit it on the head. A lot of people feel isolated. They don't know where to turn to. And again, it has nothing to do with educational level or background. I have some PhDs that have this. It's just that, where do I go to? Where's my tribe? Where can I even start to hear information? And so when they listen, and then they listen, and then they listen, they go, oh my goodness, I can actually reach out. Or, even if you're not within my neighborhood, it may give them the courage to reach out to someone and say, I think I need help.
Absolutely. So how can someone work with you?
Yes. So you can go to our website, montgomeryfertilitycenter.com. You can send us an email at faqmfc at gmail.com. So probably the website, you can look us up on IG, any of our social media handles, and send us a direct message. We'll be happy to help. But we're
Wonderful.
located in Rockville, Maryland.
Wonderful. So anything else you'd like to promote?
Yes, so we're promoting this holiday season. Anyone who's interested in freezing their eggs, we're offering a special discount. And if you bring a friend and they also freeze their eggs, you get additional discount. Anyone looking who's self-paid, they don't have the funds they're afraid of, we're giving a special promotional 1,000 off for our self-pay price patients.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing everything, and thank you for
Yes.
what you do, not just the fertility care, but also spreading the message and then doing the education so everyone have access to this and getting the support they needed.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Have a good day. Until next
You
time.
too. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.